Good evening, it's Ian. I'm going to be doing one last video tonight so I can test out the different camera placement um, and maybe if I like the camera quality even. Additionally, I want to check out the quality of the internal camera mic as it compares to the quality of my headset mic, which I am not overly pleased with. Um, so to that end, scratching my arm. I am going to do a dramatic reading of Philosophy Bro's summary of Sartre's Being and Nothingness, just because I think it's a fairly good summary of the piece, and happens to be one I agree with. So I shall begin. First of all here, fuck Kant. His shit is so needlessly complicated. He has this whole world we can't talk about or know anything about. But yet he does. How can he possibly do that? And what if the world is just exactly the way we see it? Why do we need to complicate things, even further? Don't fucking tell me that I can't get to the chairness of a chair. That's a pretty simple concept, chairness. It's just being a chair. 4 legs, maybe a cushion, and people get to sit in it. It can't stop really being a chair. Was that such a hard thing to conceptualize? Understand? But look, there are 2 ways to exist in this world. Chairs are just the way they are. They have what's called being in itself. There's nothing inherently special about them, but you take bros, for example, and bros are a whole different story. There is not any intrinsic broness that we all have. The cool thing is we get to make our own shit. Every bro is like a completely blank canvas, devoid of any color, and he gets to paint himself however the fuck he wants. This blankness, this void, it's not just any ordinary property either. It cuts to the very meaning of what it means to be a bro. Because you see, bros exist with what's called being for itself. It's an incompleteness that each bro must take care of for himself. Maybe you're thinking, but Sartre, don't we have a clear description too? We walk around on 2 legs. We're usually between 5'6" and 6'8". We got this hair up top, all this other stuff that makes us bros. Look, I get it. That idea of nothingness it's scary at first. There's a lot of room to work, and there's not really a lot of guidance for it. That thought of nothingness, it horrifies us. It scares us. So if we want to take that infinite potential, or that is that blank canvas, and fill it with those physical descriptions of yourself, then be my fucking guest. But you have to do the work. But also, it's not like you're gonna achieve the certainty of being a chair that way. All you're doing is refusing to face the uncertainty. That refusal doesn't make it go away. So my advice is to man the fuck up, grab some fucking colors, face the future boldly, and just paint. Just paint. But again, don't paint some simple physical description of yourself. Don't paint your job or your shit, or, your stuff. Don't paint it. You will never have that safety of being in itself that chairs have, and you're wasting your time trying to get it. Use your imagination. There are other voids with limitless potential. Like, you can imagine what isn't. And the cool thing about that is, imagining what isn't, that tells you what you are, and then what you want to be. And then you can make it happen. And who cares if you fuck it up here or there? Just paint over it. Humanity isn't some 8x10 that you only get one shot at. That nothingness isn't a cup you only get to fill just the one time. And as time goes on, you'll see more possibilities. You'll get new colors. You'll learn new brushstrokes. But you don't get any of it unless you start painting. And there's a really good chance you won't get it perfect. Whatever, bro. But one of the neat things is that you can know perfection through the absence of it. When you look at yourself and say, almost, what if I just take this and do that, and let's get closer. That's how you can, discover the truth of beauty. And that drive to create, that can be enough. Of course, while you're out there, doing all this work, you're going to run into other painters and other canvases. But the key concept here is to not panic. Why do people always panic? All of a sudden, bros act like they aren't supposed to be painting, like they're going to get in trouble for something, as if you're supposed to go back to you just being a blank canvas when the other painters are around. What if he's better than me? What if he thinks what I've made is dumb? So when they feel that, they stop painting themselves and let these other painters, start painting on them over everything they've already created. Do you really think that these other painters give two shits how you come out? If you let them paint your canvas for you, they're going to slap on whatever is convenient or favorable for them. And then suddenly you're back to just being your job, or your stuff, or how you look. If you let others define you, they will define you out of existence. So don't let them. But more importantly, don't be that asshole that does that to other bros. Again, this is all much easier said than done. Acknowledging that existential void, that vast emptiness, that nothingness, it's not a small task by any means. And for some reason, when people hear that they are nothing, they tend to respond with fear and not hope. We all want to be something, but we're all really lazy, and we don't want to do the work. And so there's this temptation to let others do it for us. But that problem is that no one can actualize your vision better than you can. So don't let them even try. You know, that couple that fucking hates they fucking hate each other, but they don't ever, walk away from that relationship. I know you know probably at least one. We all do. What do you think is going on there? They've given themselves up to each other. He lets her paint his canvas, and she lets him paint hers. But of course, they both fucking hate what the other is painting, since they each have a better sense of what they want to be. And now they resent the other for basically screwing it up, for sucking. She's all like, "I wouldn't put blue there, you asshole," and he's all like, "Bitch, that shouldn't be a circle." But they've forgotten how to paint for themselves, to face the world, that void, alone. And that is the risk you run if you can't face the void alone. It's that kind of relationship. Do you want that to happen? To become involved in that kind of relationship where you let the other try and decide who you are? One of the weird things is we think we all want peace and simplicity, which is why we want that safety of being in itself, that chairness, if you will, and that's why we tend to paint along those same lines, with small changes here and there and slow improvements. But secretly, I think we fucking hate peace. We have this ability to imagine such greatness, and then we sometimes just get straight up restless. We aren't really beholden to anyone, really. And if you're suddenly unhappy with what you are, why stay that way? We must never be afraid to, start over, begin anew, to overthrow what we once were, and make ourselves what we want. We must never be afraid to change, because the future is coming, whether we like it or not, and that void really is empty. So stop pretending that it isn't, and that the future is not coming, and get to painting.